guys, it's Nurse Jules here. How you doing today? Oh, kids went back to school and I am exhausted. It's only been day one, but I am already exhausted. I don't know if it's all the preparation I did to try to get them ready and make sure you have uniforms, school supplies, and everything, but I am exhausted. So anyway, well, that's another story. I want to talk to you about recognition and making sure that you appropriate love and support for your family all over. What I say this is, sometimes in a family, you have individuals that are always doing well. Like in my home, I'm keeping it real, just letting you know how things are with us. I have, with my kids, my daughter is always on point. My daughter does everything she's supposed to do. She has excellent grades. She studies. She's smart. She's always been great with her money since she was a little baby. She saved. She just did everything. I'm talking about when she was a toddler. Yes, she saved her money, saved all her coins. She's been great. And because we expect that from her, I think sometimes we don't take enough time showing her gratitude and appreciation. So if you have somebody in your life, a loved one that you know, if you have, like, I'm gonna just speak to you as if you're in my situation. If you have children and you have one that's always doing well, and you are, and you have another one that maybe is not doing quite as well as you would like them to do, make sure you take the time to acknowledge the one that's always doing well. Make sure that you take time to let them know that you appreciate them and show them that you care. Because sometimes we tend to neglect the person that we know that no matter what, they're always doing what they're supposed to. Like I said, my daughter, I have very few worries about her. Very few worries. I worry about her safety and so forth in this world, and still want to make sure that she's as successful as she can possibly be. But I know that she's putting the effort in. I know she's responsible. I know she's mature. I know I don't have to worry too much about her. And so in that, I think that we don't take the time to acknowledge that as much as we should, because it's expected. So if you have 5 children, but you have one that you know is the most mature and they're always taking care of it. Matter of fact, she's younger than her brother, but even in school, she always made it a point to take care of him. She always looked out for him. If someone hit him, she was jumping in a fight. Yeah, but I'm okay with that. I don't consider her a bad girl because she's supposed to defend her brother. But she always did. She's nurturing. When he had his motorcycle accident, she jumped in, she nurtured, she helped. She was very supportive of him. So she went to the hospital to make sure he had his food. He had this, like I said, she's always been responsible. But I think because of that, and because we know we don't have to worry about her, that sometimes we don't take the time to acknowledge her and show her just how much we appreciate what she's done. And we don't take the time to talk as much about her life as we should, because it's going the way it's supposed to. Right? It's going the way it's supposed to. So we don't put too much energy or too much work on it. And sometimes that's not fair to them. They need to know that we care about them. They need support, and they need love just as much. They need it. Maybe not, I don't even want to say not as much. Maybe they don't need as much encouragement, but they need as much support. They need to know that you have their back and that you're there for them, and that if anything were to falter, you would help them rise again, and that you would still support them. So that's important. So for you, if you have children or loved ones or cousins or someone that you're always expecting to do well, that you make sure that you take the time to acknowledge them, and don't give all your energy to the one who's not doing what they're supposed to. And I say this because it's very important. And I think that in life we tend to forget, and we tend to just dismiss what we expect. It's almost like when that bar is risen, and when people expect the most from you, it's actually harder for you, because when you falter, when you fail, it's, oh my gosh, there's so much shock. What did she do? What did he do? How could they do that, right? And then you get that energy just for a little bit, but then when things are going well, you don't get that energy anymore. It's just like in management. I've been in management for a long time. I mostly hear about things that are going wrong, or something when something didn't go as expected. But when things are going great, it's all quiet and I don't hear anything. So it's important that when things are going great, you still send messages of appreciation, and you still let them know that you appreciate what they've done. It's important. People spend more time spending negative energy and negative information and bad news than they do sharing good news. You hear it all the time. If someone went to a restaurant, or you see it on social media, and they had a bad experience, they blast that restaurant on social media. You hear all about it, how terrible the service was, how this, how that. But they go out to eat a lot. And when they go to a great restaurant, you don't see any reviews about that. They don't really talk about it. Usually it has to be exceptional for them to even acknowledge or put a post saying anything like that, right? So it happens to all of us. We tend to talk about what we do not like or what went wrong and don't give as much energy to what's good. And I'm trying to change those change that and put out those positive vibes. I want us to think about the things that are going well. I want us to acknowledge the things that are going well. I want us to have everyday conversations about the good things, right? Like my daughter just told me she was nominated for an award. I want to talk about that instead of always talking to, you know, someone else in the family about, hey, what are you going to do for your life? What are you going to do with your career? What are you going to do with your choices, right? I want to make sure I give her just as much focus and energy. So I had like an aha moment yesterday. It was like an epiphany. It just came to me like, you know what? You need to give a little bit more time focusing on Jules and what she's doing, because she's doing so well. She's doing so well that you're not too concerned. And she needs to know that you support her and you have her back and you love her just as much. So that's my message for you guys. If you have loved ones that you know are doing what you feel that they're supposed to, that they're successful, they're going to school, they're working hard, they're take care of the house well, they take care of the kids well, whatever it is, make sure you take some time today to acknowledge them and thank them and just let them know that you appreciate them. So that's my message for you today. Hope you enjoyed. Bye. Nurse Jules.